Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about how the covert narcissist creates a trauma bond with you. You may not even realize that you're trauma bonded to the covert narcissist or what caused you to be trauma bonded to the covert narcissist. And I'm going to get into explaining why you have this trauma bond to the covert narcissist. You know, covert narcissists come on, they're super, super nice in the beginning. You know, they're nicer than anybody you've ever been around. And this is one of the ways that they entrap you is, they flatter you, they future fake you, they love bomb you, they reel you in. And you're saying, wow, this person is great. Is this person my soulmate? They tell you everything that you want to hear, right? And you like it. You like it. Who doesn't like to hear nice things when people are being nice to them, or who doesn't like to get the attention that you get from a covert narcissist, right? And a lot of times, especially in the world that we live today, a lot of people, it's very hard to get people to follow through even today. And here comes along the narcissist. They swoop right in. Covert narcissist swoops right in, super, super nice to you, keeping you on the phone for hours, giving you plenty of attention, and you're loving it. And maybe you're a type of person too that is a vulnerable person, a lonely person, and you become a main target for a covert narcissist. So now you go along, you're in the relationship with the covert narcissist, they're love bombing you, you love it, and everything's going great. Once that covert narcissist knows that they have you, they know that they have you, hook, line, and sinker, right? All of a sudden, the covert narcissist is going to switch up, all right? That's when the love bombing ends. The covert narcissist is no longer going to chase you, and they're no longer going to beg you, all right? You're going to see signs of this because they may not get back to you right away. They may not be texting you as much. So now what's going to happen? You're going to feel a withdrawal, all right? You're going to feel that withdrawal of, not getting the attention, the love, the affection that you were once getting before. And you may even say something to them, which is like one of the worst things you can do, by the way. If you say to them, well, you're not calling me as much, you're not texting me as much. You're giving your power away now to the covert narcissist because now they know that you are sweating them, all right? So what the covert narcissist is going to do is they run cold. They run hot and they run cold. And what they do is they're running cold because number one, they already have you. And number two, they may have moved on to, another supply that you don't know about on the side. So they're living a secret life on the side, maybe inboxing people, talking to other people, or maybe they had somebody the whole time. It could have been their ex that they're not completely done with, but you think they are done with it because they lie, of course. All right. So you're seeing them kind of pull away. And what a lot of people do is they do the same thing. They figure, oh, okay, you don't want to call me as much? Fine, I'm not going to call you as much. I'm going to pull back and be a little distant from you. But what do you think happens when you do that? Now that covert narcissist is going to see that you're pulling back, and they're going to all of a sudden show you a lot of love and attention because they want to reel you back in. They want to confuse you, all right? This is what the covert narcissist wants to do. They want to confuse you into thinking they're all into you when they're really not, and they never were from the get-go. And now you're going to be making excuses for them why they were cold. You'll say, oh, they might have been busy with work. Maybe they were tired. They didn't want to be intimate. Maybe they're going through something with their family, their children, because this is all gaslighting. Because the covert narcissist is going to gaslight you and tell you these things. When you confront them and say, well, you don't call me as much, this, that, blah, blah, blah. They're going to say, no, I love you, this and that. I'm just busy with other things. See, it's not what somebody says. It's what they do that tells you what they're really about. It's about their patterns of behavior. So that covert narcissist, granted, people can get busy with things. People can get tired. People can have other things going on in their lives. We understand that. But when you see that it's constant and you're just feeling that much distance from that person, there's another reason going on, all right? It's because that narcissist probably has something else going on in their life, or they're just not into you and they're with you for other reasons. So what happens is every time that you try to pull away from that covert narcissist, they reel you back in. And this is what causes the trauma bond, because you're trying to get, it's a constant trying to get that person back, all right? You're trauma bonded to the person because you're trying to get the fake version of the narcissist back, the loving version, the kind version, the one that you had great times with. That's the person that you're trying to get back. But that's not the real person, all right? This is what people don't realize. Because a real person that really does love you and care about you is never going to want to see you hurting. But see, a narcissist doesn't care when you're hurting. They can run completely cold on you because they really don't care. They're totally self-consumed with themselves. So, or they have other things going on. Their mind is somewhere else. A lot of times they're with you. You don't even feel like they're with you. You feel like they're on their phone. They're ignoring you. Their mind is somewhere else. That's because their mind is somewhere else. They're not into you. They're not focused in the relationship. So you've got to be in tune with your gut. That's what you need to be. You need to be in tune with your gut and go by how you're feeling. If you're feeling that this person is cold, then guess what? You're right. They are cold and they are not into you. Because let me tell you something. Even if somebody is going through something, all right, they will still want to be around you. They will still want to be close to you. But if they totally dismiss you or something like that, they make excuses why they can't see you and everything like that, that's because that narcissist has other things going on in their lives, all right? You've got to understand that. They're most of the time they're playing you. This is what they're doing. They're playing you. So, people that love you, care about you, want to be around you, period, dot, end of story. If they're busy with work, they're busy with other things, they'll find a way to make time for you. I'm a very busy person, you guys. I have 3 kids. I have other things going on. And if I want to be around somebody, I'm going to make that time and be around them. I will find time to be around them. But a narcissist who's living a secret life is not going to make that time, all right? Because they don't care, because their intent is not real. Their intent in being with you is not real, but they fooled you with those words and they fooled you with the gaslighting. So every time they ran cold, they gaslit you. They told you things like, oh, you're very sensitive, or, you need me to be around you all the time, or you need to be, you need somebody, you're so codependent on me, or blah, 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 blah. They made you feel like you were the problem when you're just looking for the normal things that anybody would expect in a relationship. A loving, caring partner that wants to be around you when they can. But the covert narcissist makes excuses and they gaslight you. And this is why, you guys, you've got to be focused. You've got to know your gaslighting phrases. I did a podcast on gaslighting phrases and I pretty much laid it down. It's one of my older podcasts. So go to my YouTube, do a search for gaslighting. It's at the Game Exposed podcast on YouTube. Do a search for gaslighting and I lay out about how they gaslight. Understand the gaslighting, okay? Because this is your key to not falling into cognitive dissonance where you're confused, where you have an altered sense of reality and don't know what's right and wrong. You have 2 versions of how you look at the narcissist. One version, they're loving, they're wonderful, you can't get over them. And then there's the other version where they could be cold, cruel, and wicked, all right? So the point that I want to make about all this is if they could be cold, cruel, wicked, then it's right there. It's right there. All right. That is not somebody who's a warm, loving person. And the fact is, just because somebody could be nice at times doesn't mean that they are a nice, loving person. Because it's like I said in my other podcast, you could have great times with a narcissist. You could have great sex with a narcissist. but it doesn't mean that they're a great person, okay? Because that's all on the surface. That's when the narcissist feels like being nice, or they're being nice for a calculated reason because they want something out of you, or they're being nice because they're trying to reel you back because you're pulling away. Let me say this. When you pull away from a narcissist and you give them that distance, you start ignoring them because you're mad because they're ignoring you, not getting back to you the way they used to get back to you. That narcissist absolutely, positively knows why you're doing it, okay? They're not stupid like that. They know why you're pulling away. They know it's because they what they think is, or they know, is that you're starting to see through them. And the minute that narcissist knows that you're starting to see through them, they re-manipulate you again. This is what causes the trauma bond. This is why they're going to come in and they're going to love bomb you again, tell you how much they love you, how much they miss you. They're going through something right now. They need to find themselves and all this other gaslighting bullshit that they give you, all right? So this is how they manipulate you and reel you back in, because that covert narcissist was studying you, watching you, and the minute that you pulled away, they swoop back in and try to reel you back in, and they want to know that they've got you. All right. They don't want you leaving them. They don't want to lose the supply that you have to offer. So they're going to come back and they're going to give you that reassurance that you wanted. But it's not, authentic. It's reassurance just to manipulate you and bring you back in so that you don't go anywhere. All right. They don't want you going anywhere. They don't want you leaving, going with somebody else or anything like that. So they're going to give you these little tidbits of reassurance. Oh, I really love you. Or they may even buy you a gift. Sometimes they'll do that out of nowhere. When they see you pulling away, it could be also because the narcissist is pulling away because they're making excuses not to see you because they're out cheating with somebody else. All right. And then all of a sudden they come and they give you a gift. All right. This happened to me. All right. Where the narcissist went and bought me all new tires for my car. And this narcissist was cheap as anything. All right. And I'm like, why is he offering to buy me all new tires for my car? Well, he was living a secret life. All right. He saw I was pulling away. He was living a secret life, comes back and this is what they do. Little, reassurances to try to reel you back in. And you're going to think about all the nice things that the narcissist did for you. But it was all calculated. It was all manipulated. It was all to keep you, in their web. This is what the narcissist wants to do. Keep you in their web. Keep you in their harem of women or of men, if it's the other way. So when they see you pulling back, they're going to reel you back in. And all of this is going to create a trauma bond, because you're going to be trauma bonded to the narcissist, thinking about all the nice things that narcissist did. Or they're going to come back and they're going to give you the best sex you ever had in your life, okay? They're going to lay it down in the bedroom and give you the best sex you ever had in your life. And that, you guys, is going to keep you trauma bonded to the narcissist, because you're going to think about the great sex you had with them, the great things. But keep in mind the intent. The intent was to reel you back in because they saw you pulling away, all right? Now, all of this, you guys, is when you break up with this narcissist, all of this is going to cause cognitive dissonance, because you're going to see one version of the narcissist, the loving, caring person that you remember in the beginning. Maybe they were so nice to your kids. All right. They work on you by being nice to your kids. They love to use the kids as a tool to get through to you. All right. To work on you and make you, trauma bonded to them. Oh, they were so nice to my kids. That was all calculated, because the narcissist doesn't give two craps about your kids. All right. That's the truth. They're just being nice to your kids to try to manipulate you so that you're soft on them. But you're going to think about all these things if you don't know better and you don't know the game. And this is going to have you trauma bonded to the narcissist, thinking, oh, let me not be so hard on them. They were so kind to my kids. Okay. Oh, let me not feel that they're so good in the bedroom. Oh, I hate to give that up. All right. They're laying it down on you to keep you thirsty, to keep you craving them and everything like that. All right. That's the only time the narcissist may be good in the bedroom, because most of the time they're selfish in the bedroom and just worried about their own selfish needs. But you guys, they create a trauma bond because they constantly switch up. They constantly come back in, and they're periods of niceness. So again, remember what I'm telling you. When you're pulling away, you're starting to see through the narcissist. They're not who you thought they were. Now they're going to give you those little tidbits of reassurance to make you think that they are still that nice person. And this, you guys, is how they create that trauma bond of confusion. That's why, listen again, that's why you better know your gaslighting. Because when they pull away and they make excuses why they didn't call you, why they didn't text you back, why they ghosted you. If they ghosted you, you better get rid of that person. That person is playing game on you, period, dot, end of story. Anybody that ghosts you today with technology where texting is only a second away, that person is running game on you, all right? You better get rid of them. So, because that's just the beginning of the mess that you will be involved with. But now they come back, when they come back and after being cold, they're going to gaslight you. And it's up to you to recognize the gaslighting, all right? But honestly, you don't even have to recognize gaslighting at that point, because the shifts in behavior will tell you that this person is not an authentic person. Period, dot, end of story. You don't tell somebody that you love them and then you disappear for a week or disappear for a weekend. Okay, you guys? Common sense, all right? But narcissists are so good at gaslighting, they will have you fooled, because they'll tell you things like, oh, my mother, she needed me all weekend, and I was so upset about my mother. I couldn't call you because I was so upset. She was sick all weekend. I wasn't even thinking about picking up the phone. That is straight up bullshit, okay? And you've got to be on your game to recognize that is BS, all right? There is no excuse why somebody can't send you a text. They're running game on you. So you have to be able to spot the gaslighting and spot the inconsistencies in behavior of that covert narcissist, and not let them run game on you, all right? And not let you be trauma bonded. You have to use your common sense. People that love you want to care about you, want to be around you. They don't make excuses, all these excuses why they can't see you. They also don't blame you for everything, all right? A narcissist blames you for everything. A narcissist makes you out to be the problem, okay? So you got to understand all of this. Go on my YouTube. I explain all this. Once you understand this, you're going to be able to see right through these people. People say to me, how am I going to know if I'm around a narcissist? You go and you watch my reels, you're going to know whether you're around a narcissist. You're going to spot them in a second, and you're going to know how to deal with them, all right? Because they're going to try to play games with you, try to play mind tricks with you, and you'll be able to spot them, okay? And one of the ways that you're going to be able to spot them is that hot and cold behavior, the fact that they come back and re-love bomb you when they see you pulling away, all right? They come back, they hoover you, baby, I missed you, what have you been up to, blah, 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 blah. All calculated, all right? Don't be a sucker. If they really cared about you, they wouldn't have pulled away from you. Because even if people are going through something rough, I need to explain this. Even if people are going through something rough, they're not going to disappear on you, okay? So that right there tells you somebody's running game on you. So this is what causes the trauma bond. And, they gaslight, they run hot and cold. They tell you they're working. They tell you you're sensitive. They tell you you're needy. They tell you it didn't happen like that. These are all gaslighting. Know your gaslighting, you guys. Go back and watch that video I did on gaslighting. You're going to know you're being gaslit when you can spot gaslighting. That's why, like I said before, you have to be focused when you're dealing with a narcissist. You have to be able to recognize the bullshit talk, because that's what narcissists are. They're bullshit talkers. And you've got to be able to recognize bullshit. You've got to be like a prosecutor in a courtroom when you're dealing with somebody who's trying to lie to them, all right? They see right through it and they call them out for exactly what they're doing. That's the way you have to be. Although you don't necessarily have to call the narcissist out. You just distance yourself from them and realize, you know what? I'm dealing with somebody who's not who they say they are. Okay, I'm not dealing with somebody who's who they say they are. I'm dealing with somebody who's they're gaslighting me because they aren't authentic, all right? So anyway, getting back to the summation of all this, this is all causes the trauma bond. And the trauma bond also is caused because the narcissist has devalued you at that point so much into thinking that nobody wants you, all right? You're too old, you have kids, nobody wants you. They're going to say everything in the world. You're too fat, you're too thin. They're going to plant these seeds of devaluation within yourself so that you feel that your self-worth is nothing, all right? That's why you got to know who the fuck you are with them, all right? Not today, Satan. And you will become trauma bonded to the narcissist because you're gonna think like nobody else is gonna want you, and because the narcissist has devalued you so much, or maybe you're just lonely and you don't want to be alone, and that's why you get trauma bonded to the bits and pieces of the good times with the narcissist, the bits and pieces of the good times with the narcissist. But what you don't realize is that narcissist will slowly break you down, affect your mental health, which will affect your physical health, and will have you a basket case, all right? They will have you a basket case. It's not healthy. So, unless you want to be part of their harem, you have to break that trauma bond and say to yourself, you know what? Not today, Satan. You're playing me for a fool. You're disrespecting me. You're cold to me. You were only nice to me because you wanted something out of me, or you felt like being nice, but it wasn't real. It wasn't authentic. And this is how they created that trauma bond with you. All right. So again, they manipulate according to your signals. They are reading you. And when they feel you're pulling away, they're going to come on stronger and give you that love and attention. Also, I'm looking at my list because I made a whole list of how they do this. And basically, they just, when they see you pulling away, they're going to come back in. They're going to swoop back in and try to reel you back. It's a push-pull, 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 push-pull. All right? And that, you guys, shows you that inconsistency, that it is an unhealthy relationship, and that this person, 9 times out of 10, is living a secret life that you don't know about, and you're still holding on to somebody that doesn't exist. That's what it is. That person does not exist, all right? And you've got to see it for what it is and realize that, when you look deeper and you really study narcissism, like I told you guys, when you study the gaslighting, you study the blame shifting, you study the fact that they don't take accountability, you study all these kind of things, you're going to know exactly who and what you're dealing with. And you study that person's background. That's very important because, show me where you've been and I'll tell you what you are. All right. People don't talk about this, but this is the truth. If you study where somebody's been, that tells you everything about the person. All right. So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. If you're confused, you don't know if they're a narcissist, what kind of narcissist they are. They could be a combination too, you guys. They could be an covert. They could be a covert malignant. And you need clarity on how to deal with this person and advice. Check out the link in the bio. Also, check out my YouTube. Over 6,000 videos. I lay it down. Do a search on YouTube at the Game Exposed podcast for whatever you're looking for, because I talked about so many things, a lot on Covert Narcissists. Also, TikTok, you guys, you can find me at The Game Exposed on TikTok. Instagram is The Game EXP123. And have a great day.